Hello everyone, and welcome to my field trip. Today I will take you through the trail around Swan Lake, a nature sanctuary established since 1975. Along the way, I will point out some of the plants and animals, as well as giving them a brief description. So without further ado, let's get started. What we see right now is the Civilicus floridanus, or the eastern cottontail rabbit. They live in forests and edge habitats, and they have access to a variety of plants. And even though the rabbit has a lot of predators, that doesn't seem to be the case here. The white flowers we see here are called Crataegus rubidophylla, also known as the midline hawthorn. The midline hawthorn can usually be found in old woodlands as they thrive in clay soils. In autumn, they usually bear clusters of red oval berries called haws. These haws are a great food source for birds and other mammals preparing for winter hibernation. And also because of its clusters of branches, the tree provides great shelter for bugs against birds like yellowhammers. Though it may not seem like it, the stems of the tree can be used as a walking stick, and the haws can be turned into gel or candied haw berries, which is a very popular snack back in China. However, due to the plant's foul smell, it led people to believe that the stench was originally the smell of the Great Plague. These hawthorns are very common in this area, and the first part of the trail is partially dominated by these kind of plants. As we journey further into the trail, we see a group of yellow flowers. These flowers are called Ranunculus ripens, or the creeping buttercup. These flowers were originally introduced from Eurasia, but this plant has now spread all over North America. However, don't let the bright colors fool you, as the flower contains a chemical called protoanemone, which is a severe skin irritant that can cause rashes, blistering, swelling in areas of contact. And ingestion can cause nausea, vomiting, and potentially paralysis. The petals contain the highest concentration of this toxic chemical, but even though all parts of the plant is toxic, the pulses of the chewed leaves can be used in the treatment of sores, muscular aches, and other pains. The roots can also be ingested after undergoing intense drying and being cooked thoroughly. Next up, we have the Aquilegia canadensis, the red columbine. Unlike other flowers, rich and dark soil can actually weaken its lifespan. Instead, it prefers thin and sandy soil. Parts of the flower can be used as an herb to treat headaches, urinary tract infections, and diarrhea. Though the flower does not have any nutritious value, Native American men like to rub the seeds of the red columbine on their bodies to attract amorous attention. As we go further into the trail, we encounter a group of larch chemists, or Chamaesylachelinii. Larch chemists are native plants to Central and Northern California as well as British Columbia. And as a member of the Camas lilies, the plant blossoms in late winter and early spring, about 4 to 6 weeks, and then dies back to a bulb. Other than its beautiful nature, the plant is also a fantastic source for carbohydrates. After the flower turns back into bulbs, the bulbs can be fire baked to make a sweet and nutritious snack for Native Americans. This usually takes a day, and after being baked, the bulbs turn brown on the outside while the insides have a smooth buttery texture like chestnuts. The roots are even more nutritious, as it contains 5.4 ounces of protein per pound, more than a steelhead trout. Chemists can also be preserved, as American explorers were believed to have eaten dried chemists that has been prepared 36 years prior to their encounter. That's pretty cool. Now we get to the lake, and immediately we can see these algae near the lake. These are called chrysophytes, or blue-green algae, which can be found in lakes and fresh water with a lot of nutrition. When a large amount of algae is present, it is called a bloom. Though this kind of algae is pretty big, it has not gone out of control yet. Some blue-green algae contains toxin-inducing chemicals which can kill nearby organisms and can also block sunlight for plants living underwater. However, these algae seems to be non-toxic, since I have seen ducks feeding on them and they do not seem to get sick at all. Here we have the American robin, or the Turdus migratorius. While there are a lot of birds on the trail, the American robin is possibly the most common among them. These birds are social animals, especially in winter, as they gather food in groups. They are also very territorial animals, as they would often mob bigger predators such as hawks and eagles when they enter their territory. They are also very aggressive animals, as they would often peck windows, mirrors, and other polished surfaces that show their reflection. Here, at the shallow parts of the lake, we come across some broadleaf cattails, or Typholatifolia. With flowers blooming from April to June, the broadleaf cattail is nature's fence on water. Due to its aggressive nature, the plant grows in clusters, which provides excellent shelter for birds and fish. The plant can also be used as a food source, as its root stems are full of starch and was originally ground into a meal by the First Nations. A plant that is very common in the deeper parts of the trail are the Polystichum minatum, or the common sword fern. Polystichum means many rows, which describes the spores that are cased on the undersides of the fern, which are the small dots under the leaves. They are not mature yet, but they are starting to form. They are found from southeast Alaska to the central California coast. They are usually found in moist forest environments, but they are more tougher than its relatives, so they can survive in drier lands and can take a bit more sun. Though they are edible, the natives consider them famine food, as the toxins in the roots can potentially kill someone when too much is ingested. Instead, the fronds are used to make floor coverings, beddings, dancing skirts, and other decorations. Here's the sighting of an eastern gray squirrel. They're really shy animals, so I really don't see them that often. Finally, here's a forest tent caterpillar that I hitched a ride during my walk, and I discovered it when I got home. Their scientific name is Mollichosoma dystria. They are harmless, but are a menace to get rid of, as caterpillars are everywhere during this time. And they eventually grew up to become a forest tent caterpillar moth. And that's it for my field trip. Thanks for watching.